Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Buy Box. Actually, is my microphone working? I didn't test it. I assume it is.
I mean, I can hear you. So I
I know.
presume
Well,
it's
we have
working.
been
Can you hear
talking
me?
for a few minutes. Yeah, I can hear you. Absolutely. So just let us know if you can see and hear us okay. No eyes on us yet, but it takes about 20, 30 seconds for people to start jumping on board. So fingers crossed. Who's going to be the first? Who's going to be the first to say hello this afternoon? So, yeah, a little bit delayed. Fingers crossed. I just want to check everything's working. Okay, yeah, we got some eyes. Here we are. Here we are.
That's good.
We got
That's
some
good.
eyes coming on. Let us know, guys. Hello, it's James. Hi, James. You okay? We got Cindy. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. James, where did you disappear to? I thought you were coming to the training day. I know we met you obviously at the networking weekend, which is what we're going to be talking about today as well. But yeah, fantastic to see you, definitely. Hey, I reckon that's Hayden. Sounds like a Hayden thing to say.
It does.
Who knows?
Don't know where he was. Didn't turn up.
I've already told him off. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right. Where are we? No, I don't think he believed me that people were asking about him. So, right, I need to go on the other group. So we've got some comments on there as well that I can't see. Look at me being all unorganized today. Honestly, I feel like a weekend away doing something completely different outside of the comfort zone has thrown me out of kilter for everything else in life. So,
Yes.
yeah,
It's
here we
the
are.
thing.
It is
We
Hayden.
discussed
It is
it, didn't
Hayden.
we,
Oh,
in the training? Sorry, we discussed it in the training on Tuesday, on Monday. That I like myself. We on the Sunday evening, like yourself, we plan, don't we? We plan the whole week out. And when you don't
yeah.
take that time to plan, and you just feel like you're always playing catch up rather than being ahead of the week. So yeah, that's definitely had an impact on me this week.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Harris, we've got Ian, James, Hayden, Cara, Lindsay's joined us as well. Welcome everyone. So yeah, Hayden said he's doing the old boring self-assessment. Boring. Cindy said I am knackered after that weekend. Do you know what? I think we all are. Apart from Matt, who was like half an hour away from where he was
I'm
staying.
pretty tired. I mean, we did stay up till 1 and do in the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what we wanted to do today is, we've for anyone that doesn't, didn't know, because you're not part of the Hive. I mean, God, why aren't you? You know, after the weekend that we've just experienced, with with the Hive and the Hive members, that in itself, I think anyone that attended will agree, was kind of worth a good chunk of what people pay to be a part of the Hive in the year anyway. So we'll come on and talk about that a little bit in a moment anyway, because there's going to be a few things we want to talk about the Hive today. But generally, I wanted to catch up with everyone. I know a few people are saying slow sales at the moment. Maybe January, it started off really well. Second week, I know we're only like third week in January. People was experiencing a little bit of a drop off, not really what they've been expecting essentially. So I wanted to talk about that as well. But I wanted to talk about the importance of, what we've all been through as business owners this weekend, having a networking weekend, and how important it is in terms for business, business growth, and also personal growth as well, because we covered a few different things with the weekend that we've just had. And, we were absolutely blown away. We were blown away by the amount of people that came. Yes, I know it was a members only event anyway as well. So, sort of like thinking, oh my goodness, if we do one obviously for the general group and everything as well, I think we'll be inundated. But we were blown away with the amount of people that came, and we were blown away with the quality in terms of the conversation, and in the level, in the way that people wanted to discuss their businesses and everything like that. So this is about us kind of reflecting on that a little bit, and how and what impact the last 2 days will have on people's businesses. I mean, I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered. 3 days doesn't sound a lot, but it was fun business the whole time. So we weren't down the mines or anything like that whatsoever. But it's quite emotionally kind of draining, physically draining as well, to be networking with people, but then also to be training, because we did live training while we were there as well. So Richard said, how many went? We had about 60. We had about 60 go.
Networking. Yeah,
came to the networking event, which was phenomenal. We'll talk a little bit about at the moment. We'll talk about that, in a bit more detail, and how that can help and how that will help people's businesses. But I know my train was delayed last night. I rolled in at 1:00, different to Matt for reasons of rolling in at 1:00. Up early this morning with the kids, up early the day before, so I've had about 8 hours sleep over a 2-day period, but I am buzzing, for want of a better pun.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm absolutely buzzing. Like this morning, kids have gone to school. I've come straight in, making notes, making plans, really looking forward to the rest of the year, looking at things that I need to immediately implement into my business. And, these weren't even conversations I was having with anyone. This is just how it made me feel, even though I'm a lot paler than I look, because I'm definitely a bit more drained emotionally. So how it made me feel, and the impact I know of that weekend, and what it is going to do for my personal business moving forward. So I'm just talking about it from my point of view at the moment. So Matt will have his own, as will everyone else. And by the way, if you attended, everyone, please let us know in the comments, because I want people to know how valuable this weekend was, not only from a business point of view as well, but value for money. This is something we put on for the Hive. It was highly subsidized for Hive members. We had a very generous contribution from Al from Cellar Amp. So big, big shout out to him.
Yeah.
So the people that actually did come, it was a very small cost in terms of having to get there. Some people stayed overnight, of course, and things like that as well. But most of the food was covered. Most people didn't really have to put their hand in their pocket at all the whole time we were there, because this is what we want to build with the Hive. This is what always the intention has been, to ensure that these type of events are covered, within the Hive, or very highly subsidized, so everybody has the benefit to be able to enjoy them. And that's why we're going to be doing 2 of these every year as Hive exclusive. And one north, which we've already done, and one south of the country. So different people can attend. But like Richard said, I mean, it was a great turnout. We were blown away, to be perfectly honest.
We were.
Yeah, with the amount of people that came. So Cindy said, got up and started making plans, organizing too. Jess said she loved it. Really excited to implement it. Time blocked. We talked a lot about organization, getting focused, things like that as well. But Matt said we definitely blew Al's paid bar.
We had some money behind the bar, and then Al had some money, and that was well blown through. I mean, I think everybody got enough drinks, but until sort of like the later ones, the ones that the dirty stop outs that were in the fried chicken shop until 1 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. There's something for everyone, absolutely, as well. You know, you could tell you can tell the parents and the mums who were in bed at 10 o'clock. You know, I was like, we were all excited about the fact that we didn't have to share a bed with any of our kids or have our kids. So we're like, no, we're going to bed. You know, that's the benefit that we're going to get at this point. And all the people without kids went, had the social side of it a little bit more. Harris says hoping to join the Hive this week and hoping to join the next one. Brilliant. Love that. Aidan says, I can assure you I'll be at the South meetup. Wow. We might not invite you, Hayden. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. So Joe said again, you know, Cindy, Jess, Joe met you guys. First time meeting Jess and Joe. You know, Cindy was there. Cindy is someone as well. This is what I loved about it. Everyone was so excited to meet Cindy, who is such a big part of this group in terms of what she does for the group and how she contributes, you know, how she helps other Amazon business owners as well. So, you know, Cindy was a star attraction there for, you know, getting to meet her, and she brought her daughter along as well, which I'm so excited about because Cindy's daughter is going to be moving into you know, an Amazon-based business or working around Amazon as well. So, you know, really got to experience you know, what it's like at kind of networking events, and she was brilliant, I must say. You know, Cindy was absolutely you know, Cindy's daughter was absolutely brilliant. You know, most kids, that's so, she's not a kid, she's a woman, but that's, you know, most would be bored in that scenario, but really getting involved in the conversations, you know, listening to the training and everything. It was great. Yeah, Lauren absolutely loved it. So yeah, it was fantastic. So, you know, wide range of you know, diverse levels of business that were there, diverse age groups, you know, lots of people with different types of ideas, people discussing business, which obviously is one of the massive benefits of networking.
I think that, I mean, I'm not sure who said this, but great weekend leaves you so much less, feeling so much less isolated. And I think that was one of the most important things about these events,
Yeah,
is
that's
that
Joe,
most
by the way.
people, Joe, yeah, sorry, Joe, I can't see your name. Most people say, you know, that they're very lonely in their business. They work themselves. Maybe they have VAs, but you don't really go to the pub with your VAs. You've got nobody to bounce ideas off. And the best thing about the networking is you can talk to other sellers, bounce ideas off them, see what other people are doing. Someone said they likened it to the Amazon resellers Christmas party. Well, the dirty stop outs anyway. But it was just, you know, such a great event, and I think it's really, really important for a lot of people to come and network and talk to fellow Amazon sellers. Because again, I think the thing about Amazon is a lot of people who aren't in the Amazon space have no idea about Amazon, so you can never talk to people about it because no one understands what FBA is, or like FB what, you know, no one actually gets it. But you can, you know, you can come and you can talk to people in depth. You bounce ideas off them. You can ask myself, Nat, and Johnny, who were there. You know, people are saying, "What do you think of this? What direction should I take?" You know, and we were saying, "Well, I think maybe this is the best approach." And some people had some really great business ideas, and they just needed that little bit of a push. And a few people I was chatting to, they were, you know, they had some fantastic ideas. I was like, yeah, go for it. That's a great idea. You just need someone just to steer you in the right direction, just give you that push. So it was a fabulous event.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. And you know, we're all buzzing off of the back of it now. You know, Cindy said got up making plans this morning. Absolutely. You know, that feeling, not gonna lie, you know, that's obviously immediate. That's the endorphins after the event and everything like that. But how do you kind of carry that forward for those that attended? But what they don't realize that probably at the moment, unless you know you've experienced this type of thing before, it's the friendships that you form, the relationships that you build at those events. So it's always easier to talk to someone after you've met them, I think, anyway, as well. So that's, you know, point one. But point two is you form a little bit of maybe a bond. You're drawn to certain people, or you end up having conversations, and then what happens is, you know, the next time you think about asking a question in a group, you've got a little bit more confidence to do it because you know that everyone that you met in the room wasn't an arsehole, you know, and you know, everyone's nice and everyone is open to questions and sharing. And I think one of the main themes that I wanted to be able to get across to everybody that attended was we are all competitors, you know, as joint business owners, as partners with Johnny and Matt, we're all competitors with each other, but it doesn't mean that the scope of what we do allows for so much competition that there's no reason why we can't work together to help support and grow each other's businesses. And I always like to reflect on these type of things. And one of the things that I wasn't expecting, you know, when I sat down and thought about it afterwards, I was not aware, I don't think, of how important these communities are for people. That really
That was the
shone
thing that
through.
really shone through. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Being a
not.
part of it.
Yeah, and not necessarily just you know, obviously we were talking about from the Hive point of view because it was everyone in the Hive, but withstanding that, take that away, you know, even this, people were telling me how important this is every single week for them to tune in, just to have that contact with people that they feel that they can ask a question, talk about Amazon, you know, that type of thing. So yeah,
Knowing
there are
that you're
times.
not alone, knowing that you're not alone in a
Yeah.
problem, I think was one of the things that really came up. People were saying that, you know, it's great because in the Hive, if I've got a question, there's probably 3 other people that have been through the problem and can solve it. Seller support
Mhm.
are useless. There is no seller support. They are
Yeah.
support by name and name only. So people can ask questions in the Hive, and then people not just us as the owners, but the community will answer the question and help each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard says definitely coming to the southern one. Phil's joined us as well. Afternoon, Phil. I can see that Pat's joined us as well. He's my fellow traveller. Where we travelled to the train station last night. So hopefully you managed to get on the train and everything was okay. Got home safely, and hopefully everyone did that attended anyway as well. But yeah, like I said, I hope it was only our first one. And, you know, we're definitely going to be doing one probably around September in the South. And I'd encourage as many people to come as possible, obviously, that are part of the Hive to be able to do it, because it's definitely something. It also pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And there's so many different benefits that people will get and did pick up. And, you know, we're obviously talking from our point of view as well. So I think what we'll do is, you know, we'll do an exercise where we get people to say, you know, how it's benefited them. But some of the benefits are immediate. Some of the benefits are longer term in terms of relationships that you build, accountability, you know, and not to mention the training as well. And what I love about the event that we just held was people could do what they want with it. So we had some people that came for the meetup and they stayed for a couple of hours. They just wanted to, you know, get a feel for it, see how it all worked, and, you know, introduce ourselves to us, and, you know, meet a few key people that maybe they'd spoken to in the group. And then, you know, we had people that were there for, you know, the full on 2 day with the training and everything like that as well. So it was very much a test for us. Sorry, that sounds awful, like guinea pigs, but it was our first event, and I think we were surprised at how well it went.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, Chris has
I knew
joined
it
us
would
as
go
well.
well.
Hi, Chris.
I knew it would go well. But yeah, no, definitely
I knew it
went
would go
better.
well, but, you know, I
Not
like
as
to
well,
be
not as well as we thought.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am definitely one of those people that in everything that I do, I like to exceed people's expectations, and it certainly exceeded mine. But I think
Yes.
that's the people, I think that's the community, you know, that we've created, in terms of the people that I do believe birds of a feather flock together. And, you know, this is the Hive in particular is very much a very safe and welcoming community. And, you know, I know it's a paid community, but that speaks in terms for itself, in terms of, I think having people, not saying that if you're not part of the Hive, you're not taking your business seriously. That's not what I mean, but it's a commitment to yourself to continue to learn, to continue to network, to continue to work on your personal growth. Yeah, absolutely. That's indefinitely, you know, definitely what it is, as opposed to saying, well, you know, if you're not on your Hive, you're not taking your business seriously. We literally have people in there don't watch the training. They're just there for the community. We have people in there that, you know, are not part of the actual community, and they just, you know, watch the lives, or watch the training, or whatever. It's different strokes for different folks, indeed. So Brianna's joined us as well. Another person. Yeah, absolutely. Another person that was there yesterday. It was fantastic meetup. It was great to meet you all. So yeah, we absolutely thrived on it, and we absolutely loved it. And I'm going to sleep well tonight. I tell you that. Definitely going to sleep well tonight. So yeah, we'll keep Jeff was there as well. Oh, I'm loving this. All of the comments are coming in. Everyone's really enjoying it. So yeah, and like I said, it's something we're going to continue to make as accessible. What was the main thing you got out of it, Matt? What was the thing that, as a business owner, not necessarily an owner of this business, what do you think was the best thing you got out of it?
Just bouncing ideas of people, discussing things, putting things into different perspectives. I think was really, really powerful. I had some really great conversations with some people, really in-depth conversations about their businesses, about where they were going. Some people are having massive success in areas. And like you said, there's always something to learn. People were telling me things. So like I had some really good information delivered to me. People saying, "Oh, did you know this? I had a conversation with so and so. This is coming." So it's a two-way thing. You know, it's fantastic to pick up tips and tricks, learn about different marketplaces, and because obviously the beauty of this business is it's massive, and we all do the same thing, but we all do it in completely different ways. You know, and that's what's so great about it. There's always something to learn. There's always something new. So I really enjoyed it, and then I enjoy talking about Amazon anyway. I do it for a living now, but it was great to talk about Amazon for 2 days solid.
And I think what was great is we could all talk freely. We could all talk freely and feel like we weren't boring each other. How many times have you been in a situation with your friends, and well, I don't do it anymore because my friends get bored when I talk about business, not because not because they're not business people or anything like that whatsoever, but obviously Amazon's very niche, and they don't want to know about, like you say, FBA or you know, whatever, how to bundle products or something like that. It's boring when you don't know. So it was nice not to feel like you have to not be your authentic self in terms of talking about your passion, which for a lot of us is business, and talking about that. So it's a lot of what ticks our boxes mentally from that point of view. But I think also, for me, what I loved, actually, one of the things not I took away, because it was part of the training day as well. No matter how experienced you are in business, there's always something new to learn. So like Johnny very casually dropped a wholesale keeper tip that I'd never thought of before, or I'd never looked at before, and how you could use that to be able to attract wholesale clientele, wholesale suppliers. And it was just very like a mic drop, very kind of casually dropped in there. And that is something, that one tip could be enough to secure a supplier that you would not have been able to get under normal circumstances. I don't think people realize how powerful something like that potentially is. And it was just like, yeah, casually dropped in there, kind of, you know, on Johnny's wholesale session. And, you know, so not only was it a fantastic meet up from a social point of view, but also from a learning perspective as well. And like I said, people had that opportunity to stay for the learning. They had the opportunity just to be there and socialize. A few people just to have some drinks. Like you said, it's almost like a bit of a Christmas party for the people who, you know,
who work for
get the
themselves. Yeah,
opportunity.
who work for themselves, because there's a lot of people in this business work for themselves. They may have staff in sort of VA form, maybe part-time, but you know, not many people have a team of staff and a business. And that's one of the things I don't think you appreciate when you work in a big business. There's lots of people and you make friends and you become friends with them and you go out with them. But when you work for yourself, you don't have that network and you don't have those friends, and this community is your effectively your work colleagues in a way, and you can go out, you can bounce ideas off them, and you can have a great time with them and not bore them to death about talking what you love, because everyone loves it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Pat said, lovely to see all the listeners on the call that I now know as friends. Yeah. There are people I know that I met yesterday are going to be friends for life. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and again, that's something I'm very grateful for this business. I have met people that I would never have ordinarily met, never in a million years. But again, it's a classic example of birds of a feather flock together. There were people that met yesterday that had met previously that didn't know each other were coming, but had met in different circumstances. That happened twice yesterday.
Yeah, I'll just testament to how powerful this is. I won't say who they are because I don't want to divulge any information that shouldn't be shared. But when we went to the Nottingham meetup, there was two people there who knew of each other through the community, and they've actually gone into business together since that networking meetup, and they're having great success in a business together. So I won't name them because I don't know if they want this shared, but you know, that's just the power of these networking abilities. Some people can come together and start a business together.
Yeah, absolutely. Grow together. That's the way to do it. That's what networking is. That's why it's so important. So, you know, that's why we're all kind of buzzing about it, and you know, we'll be banging on about it for the next couple of days. Then we'll shut up and then we'll ramp up again before we do the next one. But I just want to take the opportunity to thank Matt for, you know, taking on the majority of the organizing. It was, you know, phenomenal. I know it was in your hometown, your home city, but I'm still going to need you to do the one in the south as well. I don't think I'm not good at organizing. I'm not good at doing that. So I need to do that. Obviously, Johnny, Matt, and everybody that came along, because it really was a truly fantastic event. And, you know, like I said, well worth the effort for coming. So thanks to everyone that came and made it what it was. Right, let's move on from networking. We've talked about the benefits that you know that's had for the business. I wanted to talk about, you know, the start of the first quarter, because obviously last week's Beyond the Buy Box, normally we talk about things like, you know, setting your goals for the year, thinking about what you want to achieve, and it was a very different start to the year for a lot of people, because we had Harvey on from Smartly last week, you know, because there was people's year started off with a little bit of an unexpected, you know, bump for a lot of people, which I'm glad to say a lot of us, well, not a lot of us, I wasn't infected, but a lot of people that were impacted by that seem to have moved on now.
Yes,
Sorry, not
managed to get it
moved on.
resolved, which is good.
Managed to get it resolved, and hopefully it's the beginning of the end, you know, for a lot of people in that situation. So fingers crossed that's the case. But like I said, normally it feels like we start off the year talking about what we want to achieve, forward planning, you know, that type of thing. So that kind of has been swept out of the way. We talked about that a lot yesterday at the at the event, but for the majority and the benefit of everyone else, I wanted to touch on that a little bit today. But before we do that, I wanted to see how people were feeling. How do you guys feel about this year? Do you feel optimistic? What are you worried? Do you think it's going to be challenging? Of those challenge, why do you think it's going to be challenging? Let us know in the comments, because we had an overwhelming, like I said, amount of people that came yesterday, and it was overwhelmingly positive. So I want to see, but what I don't want to do is take that as a given for that's how everybody's feeling, because people that didn't come may not be feeling, and that's maybe why they didn't come, because they're not feeling
We don't want
that
to
kind of
talk about Amazon
positive.
for 2 days if it's not a good subject.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really want to get people's feels on how you're feeling around the business. From most part, we can determine from our own businesses, and also from the people that we work with in the Hive, and you guys here and beyond the buy box as well. It's almost like a sampling audience of the
The mood.
the Amazon business, the mood, essentially. And I think everyone was really pleased with the way that the year started, and it's maybe dropped off a little bit. But I want to manage people's expectations as to why that might be happening, for this start of the year. So yeah, just let us know. And I know there's plenty of you watching, so if you let us know how you're kind of feeling at the moment, because we're all buzzing. I think that's Hayden feeling positive for this year, just not the rest of this month. Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
always knew that January was going to be a bit iffy in terms of started off the right way, but second week kids go back to school, credit card bills maybe dropping on the doormat in terms of, oh wow, did I really spend that much over Christmas? I do feel there's an element of people, maybe an e-com that want to tighten their belt, but there was certainly no evidence of that in Manchester. It was packed.
It was packed, absolutely packed. We went
Yeah,
home on the Saturday as well. We were there the day before, obviously, to set everything up, and it was you couldn't move down the street. It was that busy, could you? We're fighting to get past people.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Not we were fighting people.
We weren't fighting.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that sort of meetup. It wasn't like Fight Club, I promise. But we literally, it was so busy. It took me by surprise how busy it was. And we were very much commenting about the fact that, hang on, I thought no one had any money. I thought no one had this or no one had that. Certainly wasn't the case in Manchester.
We tried to went out for a meal before the event. It was the day before. And I tried to book like 10 places, and they were all fully booked on a Saturday in the middle of Jan. I just thought I'll have loads of availability. It was mental.
Couldn't get in anywhere.
No.
Could we?
No.
Couldn't get a table. So yeah, it was crazy. So, but I do think January was, I think, you had a record January last year. We had a record January last year. I don't think we're going to see the same this year. I think it's going to be a little bit more conservative. So what I would say in terms of tips for people is to make sure you are concentrating on what is selling and why it's selling at the moment, and understand why it's selling. So one of the things I'm known for doing in the Hive is being very moody with people for going out of stock. So I'm also not talking about creating your own opportunities here. I'm also talking about your general replenishing items, or general replenishment of items as well. The amount of times I can highlight in people's businesses the amount of sales that they're missing out on because they are not managing their replenishables effectively. And in tough times, replenishables are definitely one of the key areas of business that people want to focus on, want to be able to, have as part of that solid level of their business, when people are not really thinking about, splashing out on extravagant things, essentially.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, one interesting thing though, one of the advantages of selling in multiple markets, because I know you sell in the USA and I sell in Europe, is that there's different economic factors, and we're actually finding that Europe is outperforming the UK at the moment for us. Germany is
Mm.
outperforming the UK massively. So, a good advantage of leveraging other marketplaces is in times like this where there's a bit of a subdued mood in the UK. It doesn't mean that that's necessarily carried across the whole world, and maybe the US is doing better, and it can help balance out those rises and falls in demand if you sell in multiple marketplaces. Because I say Europe for us is doing exceptionally well at the moment. Fingers crossed it continues.
Yeah, absolutely. I've spoken to someone this morning about their USA business as well. Exactly the same. We're obviously in a position where we are slowly rebuilding our USA business after being trashed out by a Section 3 in Q4. So it takes time to, get infrastructure back in. Infrastructure?
Yeah.
My words are all over the place when we have stock. Yeah, so rebuilding at the moment. So it takes time for that type of thing to be put into place. But overwhelmingly, I think you're right. Geographically in different locations, just because it might be a little bit slow here doesn't mean it is somewhere else. That's why it is good to diversify into different marketplaces, but only when your business is obviously ready. Always say get your ducks in a row and maximize what you're doing already in your business. But yeah, that's my top tip for anyone looking at this year. I think we get in that new year, new me, and tend to forget all the hard work we've done the year before. So, go back, look over your deals this time last year. What were you selling? What was selling well? Are you missing out on replenishable opportunities? Are you missing out on, being out of stock 2 weeks for every single month that you reorder a product? Well, if you are, that's an automatic way to double your sales instantly. To be able to, dominate the buy box a little bit more because interestingly, something that came up a lot over the weekend was discussion about buy box and how do you get it, and especially for resellers. And we all know that reselling, there is no kind of magic bullet essentially, and you're not in control of your own listings, of course, but don't underestimate the power of history of sale in terms of percentage of buy box share. Buy box doesn't rotate. We know that. It's a myth, or an urban legend, essentially. But when it comes to coming onto a listing, I think a lot of people do underestimate, and both ways. So if you are new coming onto the listing, thinking that automatically just because you can match the lowest price seller that you're going to get half the sales, that's absolutely not the case. Why? You need to think about it in a way that from that point of view, why would Amazon give you the sales when someone else has been selling on it and selling on it very well for the last year?
Because
So
Amazon
history of
does not like out of stocks, or Amazon likes consistent supply. It doesn't like overstock. It doesn't like understock. And as we've seen with the fee changes in the USA and Europe, Amazon is now penalizing sellers who are over or understocked.
Yeah, absolutely. So, think about it from that point of view when you are joining listings. So, there is no point going onto a listing where 2 or 3 sellers have been dominating the buy box for, 12 months historically, consistently in stock, and thinking that you're going to walk in and, get 200 units and immediately take over the buy box. It's just not going to happen in that respect. So, one of the things that you're able to do to compete for the buy box is, slowly, catchy monkey. Make sure that you're getting in, increasing your stock, replenishing, staying consistently in stock, if you're there to pick up the stock, if someone else goes out of stock, that's going to work in your favor. So, think about it from that point of view, have those realistic expectations. And it works both ways as well. If you have previously sold successfully on an ASIN, then there is a good chance that you are going to get a higher percentage of the buy box than someone else. If you can find those listings where, what I like to call them, the sort of like the popular, unpopular listings, where they might go through a couple of peaks in the year where they maybe get shared on a deal sheet or something like that, and they die. They literally die. And then all of a sudden, everybody forgets about them because you have this sort of trauma associated with, well, I lost money on that, I'm going to stay away from it. But we seem to think from our point of view, from a reseller, if we're not selling it, it's not selling. But that's not the case. It continues to sell when we're not selling on it. And there's a good chance it's selling at a price that is profitable.
Yes.
So you can't forget those hidden listings or unpopular listings, popular, unpopular listings, because so the more you can establish buy box percentage on those, the more sales that you're going to get from a reseller point of view, definitely. So replens, I think has to be a really good focus for a lot of sellers this year. If you're in this for the long game, you need to develop a strong replen game in your business.
Yeah, I think one of the things that overriding things that came out at the weekend as well is that people think to grow they have to do other things. Okay, a lot of people were coming up with different business models, different sourcing things, and then I was like, I was trying to say to people, like, look at what you do well and just do more of it. And it was a bit of a light bulb moment for some people. And I was thinking, like, you could be more successful just doing more of what you do well and less of things that other things, because other things can be distractions. And I think the way to grow this year is to be super focused on a niche, on a particular model. Do what you do well and do as much of what you do well as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Russell Bronson talks about that, the founder of ClickFunnels, and that was a real light bulb moment for me. And I can't remember the amount of times that I've told this to people in terms of that exact philosophy. When I read him talking about that, they always say when you read something, when you watch something, there's always one key thing that stands. I don't remember what he said in the rest of the book, or I don't even know if I finished the book, to be perfectly honest. But when I found that exact principle, for want of worded slightly differently or whatever, I was looking at ways that I can increase my own business, and he was like, why are you trying to do this? Why are you trying to learn something else? Why are you do? And his simplest advice actually was put your prices up. That you want to increase your business, first thing you should do is put your prices up. That's what you need to do. And that will increase business in itself, which is such a simple thing to think about, right? But then he went on to go and say, then once you put your prices up, then just do more of what you're already doing. Don't try and make a complicated Queen's Gambit chess move, 4 different places, and try and checkmate in an area that you don't know anything about whatsoever. Kind of take that strategic step sideways and then move forward, strategic step sideways and then move forward. So it really is a case of, and I think I said this about 40 times over the weekend, something very similar. It's a case of identifying what you do really well in your business and doing more of it.
I couldn't agree more. And also as well, one of the things that mistakes people make is that making more money, like you said about putting your prices up. Now people are probably going to say, oh well, I can't put my prices up because of my competition. Okay, but what you can do is you can make more money per order. You can sell higher value products. You can use bundle opportunities, your own opportunities, to create more margin in what you sell. Therefore, you make more money for the same amount of time. Look at it that way. Do what you do well. but then also try and increase the average sell price to make more profit by using higher value goods, or by using bundles with margin mixing and different strategies to make as much profit as you can out of each order. And therefore you grow your business simply by just changing that little mentality, or could even double your profitability, because you're just thinking, right, actually it takes me 5 hours to pack 1,000 units, let's say, but and let's say I make £1 a unit, I make £5,000. But if I could sell, the same amount of units and make £2,000, make £10,000 by doubling my profit by selling higher value goods, same amount of time, double the profit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's businesses and systems and processes that you put into place. Again, John mic drop keeper moment, which I thought was groundbreaking. But one of the things, Matt, you spoke about, which is something I don't really do in my business, considering how many people are involved in our business, is, setting those KPIs and tracking them. Everybody sets targets, everybody sets goals, everyone has milestones, that they want to hit within their business. But, in one area of our business and one area of the business that we're looking to expand, that is something that would be massively valuable to implement into there, because it's very much a case of it's a results-driven business. So as a results-driven business, you should be tracking the growth and hitting, ensure that you're hitting those milestones, because otherwise there's no point. The business won't grow. So having an element of that, as well as little tweaks within your business. Sometimes people literally think it's okay, I just got to get more sales, got to buy more, got to sell more, got to do this. Actually, sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about a tweak that you can make in your business from or let's not forget reductions as well, streamlining, that sort of thing. Johnny spoke about that as well, saying how most big businesses moving forward are not really going to focus on growth of their business through turnover. It's going to be growth on the bottom line. They're going to be streamlining their business. They're going to be looking, are they profitability at that bottom line? How profitable is their business? They don't necessarily want any more of the market share. They want to maintain what they've got, but at the same time increase and work on their profitability in the business. And I do think that's the next couple of years is going to be about for a lot of people, even at our level, essentially, because you've got to remember everything translates, whatever size your business is.
This is very much exactly what we're going through at the moment. We're going through revaluation of the business in terms of profitability. Like, money was cheap, staff were easy to come by, opportunities were good a few years ago. We grew. Now, in line with the market, this is what a lot of companies are doing. It's what Amazon's doing. It's what Facebook, Microsoft. They've grown, and now they're looking to sort of make the profit out of that. And that's very much what we are doing as a business. We've not got massive growth plans. We're looking at what we do really well. We're going to do more of it and cut out the things that are either not making us a lot of money. Because if something makes you a bit of money, this is where I think people go wrong, and I think people often struggle with the concept. If something's making you a bit of money, you often keep it going because it's making you money. But what it could be doing is it could be losing you money because it's taking time away from what is your core business that can make you even more money. You're doing something that makes you like a little bit. Say you make 10% margin on I don't know. Let's say you're doing OA. Okay, you're making 10% margin on OA, but your bundles are making 50% margin. Okay, so what you're doing by keeping the OA in your business is actually losing yourself money that you could be focusing on the bundles. So there's lots of things that tweaks. Sometimes going backwards will make you go forwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Andre's joined us as well. Andre he said something that made me laugh yesterday. He said, I always seem to find the lives, Hive Live, Beyond the Buy Box, a couple of minutes before the end. And then just as I'm logging on, you guys are saying bye. And I think it's going to be the case again today, Andre. Sorry, we're only going to be on for a few more minutes. But yeah, Andre joined yesterday. We were talking obviously about the networking day. So hopefully you enjoyed it as well. Hayden saying, I often find myself wondering if I should venture into a new niche and sell on it to sell on, but I'm good at my niche, so I decided to stick with it and do of what I know works. Yeah, absolutely. You know, do more of it, and you know, ensure that you've maximized that. I think the biggest person, one of the first people to highlight that to me, apart from Russell Bronson, was actually working with Luke Dugan. That was very much what he used to do in his business on a biannual basis. So he would spend a year focusing on growth in his business, but then would spend the next year on getting it right, you know, tightening it up, streamlining, increasing the profitability. You know, 1 year grow at all costs, you know, regardless of, you know, even if he was in a loss-making scenario, grow. And then, you know, once he had achieved that level of growth, to then go back and start streamlining it. And, you know, that has enabled him to be able to have you know, grow his business over the last 12 months, which he's done massively so, using that exact strategy as well, even in what would be considered a slightly depressed, I don't think we can call it a depressed market. It's still a buoyant market, you know, for selling on Amazon, but
I think we call it a flat. I think it's a flat market. It's a flat market. It's just not. Yeah.
I think for this year. Yeah, I think for this year as well, this is probably, most people I'm speaking to are down on Q4s from last year, but again, to be expected, you know, in the situation. And I don't want anyone to feel disheartened, demotivated, or disappointed by that as well. It was what was to be expected this year. So this is, you know, we spoke about this time last year as well. I think if people come out of this year with very similar terms of turnover, and you know, really work on their bottom lines, I think that is definitely something. And you do that by adding bundles into your business, by diversifying, by doing all the extras that not everyone is prepared to do. That's how you do it. It's as simple as that. Everything we teach in the Hive, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, again, I'm not sure who this is, but this is a great comment. The strategy meeting was Andre. Yeah, it was an eye-opening in regard what our business is good at, what we should be doing going forwards. Yeah, that's what I said on the day, was that people get into the grind. They just grind and grind and grind. They don't know where they're going and they don't know why they're going there. You know, what is the ultimate goal? What do you want out of this business? And some people are actually advised to take it back. I said, you know, what you're doing is not necessarily what you want. You know, you want a business that works for you, not you working for the business. And I think one of the best things we did on the strategy part was we stopped and said, look, what you're good at, what you're not good at, let's analyze it, let's break down where we're going to go with it, and then go ahead with that and set goals, targets, and KPIs based on that, rather than just doing for doing's sake.
Big shout out to, I see Paul has joined us as well. Paul Cousin from Prepared for You Prep Center. So if anyone's thinking about joining a prep center as part of their, you know, expansion plans this year, make sure you hit Paul up, because he runs a fantastic prep center that has, you know, really great opportunity for supporting growth in diversification, you know, bundles, etc., that type of thing as well. So hopefully Paul's still listening and he heard his shout out. So he was at the meeting. He was there on Sunday. So people had the opportunity. Again, some people that have maybe been using Paul for years, or you know, or thinking about using Paul or something like that. Him and Eddie were there to be able to talk through some of those things within, you know, the prep side of the business. So really grateful for those guys from Prepare for You coming as well. Fantastic. And especially, and congratulations to Paul and Lisa as well, who've literally a few days before welcomed a new addition to their family as well, baby Connie. So big congratulations to you guys on that as well. And well done, Paul, for coming just a couple of days afterwards. Don't know if I would have let Matt get away with that one. But yeah, Matt, actually, do you know, it was probably a relief. So just going back to what Ian said, How many days? Great question. How many days inventory would you say is optimal at the moment? 60 maximum.
Yeah, I was going to say 30. 30 to 60. Yeah, 30-ish. It depends on your replan time. Yeah, 30 to 60. It depends on your replan time. If you've got a long lead time, maybe go towards 60, but 30 to 30, anywhere between 30 and 60 is optimum.
I would say that
Amazon are sending stuff back if you're overstocked now.
Yeah, Amazon do not want to be holding any excess stock. They're making that absolutely clear in all of their fees, all of their updates, and everything that they're working towards. So, yes, 30 to 60 days is definitely, like Matt said, if it's a longer, but at the same time, you don't want to go above 60 days, even if you have got a long lead time. It's not Amazon's problem at the end of the day. So you're going to need to try and work out a way to be able to keep Amazon happy as well as keeping in stock at the same time. And that is things like ensuring that your lead times are up to date, that you're communicating with your suppliers, you have good relationship with your prep centers. You know how long it takes for your goods to be prepped and sent in. You're doing analysis, you're keeping KPIs, key performance indicators in your business that will help you to allow to manage your inventory and your stock levels more successfully.
Yeah, very similar comment as well. I think I was going to say.
All right, you do it.
There we go.
That's Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. Hope you're well.
I find it takes forever for Amazon to have inventory checks lately. It used to be a lot faster. Yes, Amazon are changing the way that they do inventory. It's not officially been announced or anything, but a long time ago, Amazon used to split shipment. So what it used to say was send 10 to here, 10 to here. So let's say a good example, 10 to go to Edinburgh, 10 to go to Manchester, 10 to go to London, 10 to go to somewhere in the southwest. So that way you have national coverage. But then obviously all the sellers complained. It was impacting margins. So obviously now most stuff goes to BHX4, which is Coventry, and then it gets split out and sent by Amazon to Edinburgh, then Manchester, then the southwest. What's happening now is that Amazon are going to start offering, if you split your stock, it will get checked in faster because you can ship it direct to the end fulfillment center. So what people don't realize is when you send it to Coventry, most people send to Coventry, that is only a receiving center. And all they do is they take stuff, they split it, and then they send it to other fulfillment centers. And that is what's taking a lot of time at the moment. So Amazon is going to be looking longer term to be moving more back to sending direct to individual fulfillment centers, which should
totally
reduce these times. But it will be a pain for logistics because then you'll have more boxes. So it's pros and cons there.
I prefer split shipments, faster check-ins.
Yeah,
personally,
Yeah, it depends.
That might be unpopular opinion, but there we are. That's what I prefer. Aram said, question on being. We'll take this as the last question, then we call it a day for today, guys. Aram said, question on being overstocked from the buy box being suppressed. I'm guessing we still get penalised for that. Yes. So the only way that you're going to get yourself out of that situation is to be able to find the sweet spot in where the buy box is being returned, to the buy box being returned and unsuppressed. So what we tend to do is find the sweet spot by moving the price down. And then once we've hit that sweet spot, trying in very, very small multiples of moving it back up again, just to see if we can push it a little bit more. But you just got to think, if you've got a buy box suppression situation, it might be better to, get it down, sell out of the stock, move on, and look for other opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we said 50p increments is usually the best way. So like you said, bring it down to what it's usually the featured offered price is probably where you're struggling, because Amazon takes external competitor prices and previous data of the buy box to analyze what it thinks is the fair price. What it thinks is the fair price doesn't factor in availability, but there we go. the only way to get the buy box is to bring it down to that price, then gradually increase the price by 50p every day or every couple of days, so that then becomes the average price, and therefore Amazon allows the buy box. So unfortunately, that's one of the few ways, the only real way to get the buy box unsuppressed, unless there's something else causing buy box suppression from a listing point of view. But that's usually it's the featured offer price that's causing the buy box suppression.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know if that's not the case. I'm sure it is. Hopefully that's helpful. Wow, doesn't time fly when you're having fun? It certainly did over the last 3 days anyway as well, and it has done so again today. So oh, we've just got someone that said hi. Sorry, it's going to be bye. I'm afraid. We are just signing off. Hi bye. Oh, it's Paulina. Sorry, Paulina. We're just we're heading off now, so you have to catch us on the replay. But yes, for anyone that does want to join the Hive, for anyone that's not involved, we'll get the link dropped into these comments so you can have to go. We are going to be changing things in the Hive over the next couple of weeks. So, you know, just take my word for it. Join now. You're going to want to join now, between now and the next couple of weeks, because things certainly are going to be changing. But yes, fantastic weekend once again. Thanks to everyone involved. Thanks for everyone coming. We really, really appreciate it. Yeah, it's just been phenomenal. So Hive meeting was lit. Absolutely. There we go. I think we're going to put that on our testimonials page. Definitely was, for sure. So we will see you guys next week. I think it's myself and a guest next week. So maybe talking about some of the stuff over Q4 and, you know, reflecting on that a little bit as well. And, you know, just how we can utilize the information from that we've gathered over Q4 to be able to help build and you know, build revenues and everything for 2024 onwards. So yeah, thanks guys. See you soon. Have a good week, everyone. Take care.
See you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.